Dave Filoni and Rick Famuyiwa were just asked about how they're going to address the absence of Cara Dune, if they will. This is the first time we've had something of a response. Dave affirms that Cara Dune was a big part of this story, and continues to be, confirming in universe she is still alive, even if we never see her again. Dave also said he spent a lot of time with Jon Favreau, talking about how to address it. I guess we'll find out in the next few weeks if they actually do, but he says the focus is on Mando and Grogu, and the new characters Din came across. In the same interview with Deadline, we learned that Rick Famuyiwa directed 3 episodes, the premiere, episode 7, and the finale episode 8. Very interesting stuff indeed. And today, we have tons more Mandalorian updates. Enjoy. Hello my dear friends, the time has come. The Mandalorian Season 3 premiere drops tomorrow, and today we have some final updates before the show. I can't wait to watch Chapter 17 and do a full breakdown where we're going to discuss every nook and cranny, every detail from the episode, and as a community we're going to have a big old dialogue of what we thought. Mando is back, Star Wars is back. So we begin with some new comments made by Carl Weathers, who's directed 1 episode of this season, but of course stars on screen as Greef Karga in a recurring role on Nevarro. But today Carl Weathers opened up about something different, what it was like filming the 3rd season, in particular working with some of the creatures. As we know, Anzellans, the species of Babu Frick, are going to be appearing in the show, and Weathers unveiled he had some scenes with them, but they were not easy to pull off. The other day at Fan Expo in Vancouver, Carl Weathers explained why it was so hard. When it comes to dialogue with puppets, in many cases you yourself have to take the lead and remember in your head what the translation of the script was, so that you know what the context is and what to say next. But that wasn't the only thing that made shooting these scenes difficult. As he recalls, they had to do many retakes because he had to look through a small door to see the creatures, and he kept forgetting his lines. I think that episode was directed by Rick Famuyiwa, and the director had to mouth him the lines. It was a bit awkward and he said it was embarrassing, but now, in retrospect, he can laugh about the experience. I believe that's the scene from the episode where they're hiding from pirates on Nevarro when the Mandalorians come and fight them. Carl Weathers is a gem, an absolute legend and a kind-hearted man. I love him in his role as Greef Karga, but his direction behind the camera in Season 2 gave us a masterpiece, The Siege. A massive highlight of the entire show so far, and I've got no doubt he will deliver in his episode in Season 3 as well. By logical deduction, you would assume his episode in Season 3 continues the cloning project of the Imperial Remnant. That might be the episode with the Praetorian Guards, where they further show us what they're doing, trying to bring the Emperor back by cloning a suitable body with a high midichlorian count that will accept his Force essence. Dark Secrets of the Sith. That's probably going to be much later in the season. Let's wait and see. But this first episode, Chapter 17, is directed by Rick Famuyiwa and written by Jon Favreau. Speaking with Empire Magazine, Carl Weathers also spoke about the scope of the 3rd season, saying, quote, "It's a little different to Season 2. It has a lot more scope, but generally, there are many kinds of stories within the story, so it's not just one thing. We know there are going to be storylines to do with Bo-Katan and Din, creed, tradition, and trying to rebuild and unite the clans of Mandalore, but there's also going to be something else. It's not just that. Just like in Season 2, there is going to be Moff Gideon's story, and more for Grogu later in the season. At some stage we see Dr. Pershing on Coruscant, there to break out Moff Gideon, but he also goes to the shipyard to try and get to Gideon's cruiser, maybe for the command lock, to get footage of the nights that Luke arrived to prove Gideon's innocence, with the arguments that his ship was invaded. His full motives are still to be made known. Are they going to try and go after Luke for his DNA in the cloning project? At this stage, we assume the Imperial Remnant has Luke's hand, because Palpatine kept it on Exegol after the Empire Strikes Back, but now that Palpatine is dead, I reckon it's in the possession of the Sith Eternal. Or if they lost it, they might be wanting more DNA from him. But who knows what's going to happen and what they'll do. There is so much uncertainty with this season. And let's not forget Grogu's story. I reckon the extended Order 66 flashbacks are going to happen slowly over the episodes, piece by piece, until we finally see who's behind that door. Is it more clone troopers, an Order 66 survivor like Quinlan Vos, maybe Balon, Ray Stevenson's character, or alternatively, Anakin Skywalker himself? Maybe he brought Grogu straight to the Emperor. I reckon those flashbacks are going to be internet breaking. And according to Carl Weathers, across the season there are going to be various tones. There's going to be some lightheartedness, some more serious aspects, some full-on dark aspects, and so on. In his own words he said, "The Mandalorian Season 3 is a chance to dabble in multiple genres at once." Even though they're different episodes, it's not like typical television, it's not a whodunit, it's not a dark comedy, it's so many things, and it's action-adventure on top of that, and I would say that's pretty obvious from the TV spots and trailers. This is the way. In other Mandalorian news, Pedro Pascal spoke with multiple outlets on his press tour, teasing a few tidbits along the way. He commented that Katie Sackhoff's performance as Bo-Katan is a highlight of the show. He also spoke about the changing dynamic between Din and Bo, how it's not a full-on rivalry, but a misunderstanding, one simple thing in Season 2, where she's jealous that he won the Darksaber. But that's about it. Other than that, there is reconciliation in their future. And as we know from the trailers and TV spots, the two of them are going to be working together closely. In his own words, he says, "I mean, there really wasn't a falling out necessarily, sort of just an accident. Din picked it up and is desperate to give it back to her, but it has to be earned in a very specific way. I think what I'm most excited about as far as Season 3 goes is we get to see what Katie does. And I've got to say, guys, despite rumours of a Bo-Katan show, The Mandalorian Season 3 and 4 is very Bo-Katan centric, so in a large way they could act as Bo-Katan's story on top of Din and Grogu. And if there's more afterwards, then maybe we do get a Bo-Katan spin-off. There was that rumour of a Ghost Track 17 show, which we still know nothing about. Could that be announced at Star Wars Celebration? Katie Sackhoff is going to be there." And so now, my dear friends, the Bad Batch Season 2 Episode 11 Metamorphosis drops tomorrow. It's said to be a big episode, and Jennifer Corbett is already cryptically teasing it on Twitter. "Cut off one head, 2 more shall take its place." The origin of this myth, which has been used in Marvel and across pop culture, is Lernian Hydra, a serpentine water monster in Greek and Roman mythology. Is she teasing another beast of sorts? Let's find out. And we also got this new character poster for Benny from last week. Let's talk about something a little bit different, but as always, in the realm of the galaxy far, far away. Marvel's Anthony Mackie reveals his Star Wars ambitions. This came as a bit of a surprise. Speaking on John Horowitz's Happy Sad Confused show, Captain America actor Anthony Mackie revealed his dreams of joining The Mandalorian and the Star Wars franchise on the whole. The MCU star described why he's loved The Mandalorian specifically so much, pointing to the idea that, quote, "You just never knew why or what or how." He referenced Boba Fett in the original trilogy. There was something so unique about the way he moved through that universe that no one else could emulate. Mackie also mentioned his childhood friends called him Lando as a nickname. So will Mackie's Star Wars dreams come true? Well, he's already worked for Disney for Marvel, so it's definitely a possibility. He's in the zeitgeist and on their radar. It's always so cool to see these actors who are fans. I'm certainly rooting for him. He told his agent, holding the Boba Fett helmet, "I'm the best, I have the helmet. I can literally show up in my costume from my house, ready to shoot." Despite him just joking, there is of course some truth to his eagerness. That'd be amazing if he joined. And just before I go, a very wholesome picture of Emilia Clarke holding a mug that her mum got her, and it says, "You're doing f***ing great." Some great words of encouragement and motivation there. I'm a big fan of Emilia Clarke and of course of Qi'ra. I can't wait to see the rest of her story in the Hidden Empire. As I've expressed in the past, it'd be amazing if she did show up in live action once again. She recently said she's eager, but she doesn't think it's gonna happen. There is of course a Qi'ra novel coming out soon. But share your thoughts on everything we spoke about in the comments down below. Are you excited for The Mandalorian Season 3 tomorrow? And what are your final predictions? Share them in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. May the Force be with you always.